Very warm hello to all my precious students of grade 4. We continue with the learning of social studies, lesson number 6, the earth and its movements. Okay, now in the previous recording we had analyzed what are the movements of the earth, what is the axis of the earth, rotation of the earth, the formation of day and night, revolution of the earth, meaning of leap year, and why is leap year formed every 4th year. Okay, and now in this part 3 recording of this lesson, we continue with the study of this unit, how are seasons caused. Now before we start reading, let us analyze how many seasons are there in a country like India. In our country we have 3 main seasons, that is summer season, winter and monsoon. Now this monsoon is considered as a main season only in India. Rest in all other countries all around the world, it keeps on drizzling on a daily basis for the maximum months of the year. But because here in India we have a particular month where we get the monsoon, that is the reason why monsoon has been considered as a main season only in India. Rest the remaining all countries in the world, it keeps on drizzling, it keeps on raining all year round. Okay, and the 2 short seasons are spring season and autumn season. Now the spring season and autumn season, they are only for 1 month, and this 3 main seasons, they continue for 4 months. Okay, before summer season comes the spring season, before the winter sets in, autumn season is there. Okay, first autumn comes and then winter season comes. Okay, so these are the 5 seasons in our country. Okay, now let us see how are seasons caused. Now what is the reason, who causes the seasons? There must be some reason why we get one season after the other, and that too in continuation. Okay, no season stops at one point of time, it keeps on continuing. Like after summer, very soon we'll have monsoon season, then after monsoon gets over, we start experiencing autumn, and then winter sets in, and then winter comes the spring season, and after spring season again the summer season comes. Okay, let's start. The sun gives out the same amount of heat and sunlight throughout the year. So you can see the earth faces the sun, half of the earth gets the light, that is daytime, and half of the earth is in dark, that is the night time. And because it keeps on rotating on its axis, and plus it revolves around the sun continuously without stopping, it keeps on getting the heat and light throughout the year, and that too in the same amount. At any point of time, is there a lot of heat or lot of sunlight pouring in? No. The heat and the sunlight, the proportion is the same. There is no increase or decrease. Okay. Yet, some months are cold and others are hot. Why is it that few months, like right now, this is a very May month is a very hot month. We experience the heat waves. Okay, why is it so hot, particularly in the month of May, and why it is so cold in the month of December and January? What is the reason that particular months are very hot and particular months are very cold? This happens because of 2 reasons. So let us see what are the 2 reasons for causing the heat and the cold. Okay, first reason is the tilt of the earth's axis. Tilt is the meaning of tilt is your bending. You can see our earth is also bending on its axis towards the sun. Sometimes the bend is such that the uppermost part of the earth is closer to the sun and the lowermost part, that is the southern pole, is away from the sun. Okay, now this imaginary line that runs through the in between of the earth is known as the equator, and the upper half, that is this place, this space, is known as the northern hemisphere. Here is the north pole, the upper part is known as the north pole. So this part from the equator to the north pole is known as the northern hemisphere, and the lower part, that is from the equator to the south pole, is known as the southern hemisphere. Okay, always remember the upper part is the northern hemisphere and the lower part is the southern hemisphere. So you can see this earth has bent. You can see this tilt is known as bending forward. The meaning of tilt is bending forward so that you reach closer to something. You can see this, our planet Earth has bent a little so that this northern hemisphere is nearer to the sun than this southern hemisphere. Okay, so the tilt of the earth's axis means the bent of the earth's axis plus the revolution of the earth around the sun. So the main reason why how the seasons are caused, first is the revolution of the earth and second is the tilt of the earth's axis. That is the bending, the inclination, the way the earth is bent forward is the two main reasons why seasons are caused. Okay, as the earth is tilted on its axis, the part that is inclined towards the sun gets direct rays and becomes hot, thus experiencing summer. So you can understand, because the northern hemisphere is bent towards the sun, it gets direct rays. You can see the sun is very hot. The sun passes its heat and light directly on this northern hemisphere, and that's the reason the hemisphere that is bent nearer to the sun experiences the heat and light. And that's the reason there is summer here. And because the southern hemisphere is away and there is the rays come slanting, the southern hemisphere, they don't get direct rays. The rays are slanting. You can see here. In the northern hemisphere, they get direct rays. That's the reason there's summer here. And because the southern hemisphere gets slanting rays, it's cold here, and that's the reason this hemisphere experiences winter season. Okay. Next, the part that is away from the sun does not receive direct rays of the sun. It is colder and hence experiences winter. Now I told you the part that is away from the sun gets slanting rays, and because it does not get direct rays, it is cold there. It is, see, you can see it is dark and cold there, and obviously this hemisphere experiences winter season. And because you can see there is lot of heat and light here, all the direct rays of the sun are passed on this hemisphere because it is tilted. The inclination, it's bent more nearer, bending forward towards the sun. You can see it is getting direct rays, and so it has summer season here, and this hemisphere experiences winter season because it is away from the sun. Okay. Next, when the tilted earth revolves around the sun, different parts of the earth get direct rays of the sun. Okay, now the earth is continuously revolving, it's continuously rotating, plus it is revolving around the sun. So obviously when it passes from here to here, the tilt changes, and obviously now this part is getting light. When it comes here, the other part will get more direct rays. So obviously the part that is getting direct rays will be different at different parts of the the different time period. Yes or no? When the tilted earth revolves around the sun, different parts of the earth get direct rays of the sun at different time of the year. So obviously with this tilted axis, when it revolves around the sun, all the different parts, they get direct rays at different periods of time. Okay, it's not necessary that only this part should get direct rays. After some time this part will get direct rays. After that this part, this opposite side will get direct rays. So continuously the direct rays is reflected on different parts of the earth, okay, because of its revolution. This causes summer in those areas. Now see, now this part is having direct rays, this part will have summer. After coming over here, this part, that is the northern hemisphere, this part will get more of direct rays. Obviously this part will experience summer season, okay. The other parts experience winter, autumn or spring depending on the amount of sun rays reaching those places. So ultimately you can understand that the amount of sun rays decides the season that will be on our planet Earth. The amount of sun rays, how much sun rays a particular part is experiencing. If it is a direct rays, it will have summer season. If that part is getting slanting rays, it will have winter season. So ultimately you can understand that how much heat, how much light, how much rays the sun is passing out, and which part is getting that direct rays, which part is getting that slanting rays. The season changes according to the sunlight. The amount of sunlight, the amount of sun rays decides which season will be there in that particular part of the earth. Okay? Let us understand this with the help of a diagram. So you can see they have given a diagram. It is easier to understand with this diagram. The earth is divided into two equal halves by an imaginary line passing horizontally through its middle. This imaginary line is called the equator. So just as I said, the imaginary line that passes through the middle of the earth is known as equator. Okay, and the upper half of the earth from the equator to the north pole is called the northern hemisphere. The lower half from the equator to the south pole is called the southern hemisphere. The upper part is known as the northern hemisphere. The southern part is known as, the lower part is known as the southern hemisphere. Okay. Next page. When the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, it gets direct rays of the sun and experiences summer. So how you can see from this figure, so northern hemisphere is bent towards the sun, it will get direct rays. So obviously it will have summer season. Because southern hemisphere is away from the sun, it will get slanting rays, it will experience winter season. Okay. The days are longer because of the exposure to sun's rays for a longer time. Because the sun rays are more heat, more light pours inside, keeps coming inside, the days are longer. You will experience longer days and shorter nights. The longest day in the northern hemisphere is 21 June. So northern hemisphere has summer season, and because of the summer season, the longest day is there, and the longest day in the northern hemisphere is 21 June. This day marks the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. So the northern hemisphere experiences summer season. This day is known as the summer solstice. This day has the longest day. Okay. Next, at this time the southern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun. So because the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun, southern hemisphere is away from the sun. It gets slanting rays of the sun and experiences winter. You can see the sun rays that is pouring to the southern hemisphere is in slanting direction. So obviously southern hemisphere is in darkness and less heat, less rays reaches the southern hemisphere. Obviously it will have winter season because it is dark and cold there. Okay, the heat is not sufficient to light up because of the slanting rays, because the southern hemisphere is away from the sun. Next, it gets slanting rays of the sun and experiences winter. The days are shorter than the nights. 21 June is its shortest day and marks the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. So you can understand that because it's tilted away from the sun, it gets slanting rays and it is winter there. The days are shorter than the nights, and 21 June is the shortest day, which is known as the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. This day is known as the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere, and 21 June is known as the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere because the southern hemisphere has winter season there. Okay. After 21 June, the northern hemisphere starts moving away from the sun. So after 21 June, obviously the northern hemisphere, that this tilt starts changing. This tilt, this inclination starts changing. That means the northern hemisphere moves away from the sun and the southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. The tilt of the southern hemisphere is more prominent after 21 June. Okay. After 21 June, the northern hemisphere starts moving away from the sun. In December, the position of the earth is such that the southern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. So obviously when the tilt starts moving, northern hemisphere is away from the sun and the southern hemisphere is more tilted nearer to the sun. Okay. So it is summer here. 22nd December is the longest day in the southern hemisphere and marks the summer solstice in the southern hemisphere. Now here you can see 22nd December is the longest day. Okay, because southern hemisphere is nearer to the sun, it will experience summer season. So obviously it will have summer solstice. Okay, now this date 22nd December is known as the summer solstice in southern hemisphere. At this time, the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun and experiences winter. So just as I said, because southern hemisphere is nearer to the sun, it will have summer season. Now the northern hemisphere is away from the sun, obviously it will get slanting rays and it will experience winter. 22nd December marks the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere as it is the shortest day there. Just as I said, if one hemisphere is near to the sun, it will have summer season, and if one hemisphere is near to the sun, the other hemisphere is away from the sun, obviously it will have winter season because of the slanting rays. Or soon and slowly, one hemisphere that is nearer to the sun, it will go away from the sun experiencing winter, and the one that is away from the sun will come nearer to the sun, then there is summer season there. Okay. In the course of its revolution, there are times when the earth is in such a position that both the hemispheres get equal rays of the sun. Okay, we continue from this part in the next video. Okay, till here we completed. Okay, that's all for today. Bye and have an awesome day.